Hello, my name is Sandy Adamitis, the social media director for the Page International Screenwriting Awards, and your host for the Writers Hangout, a podcast that celebrates the many stages of writing, from inspiration to the first draft, revising, getting a project made, and everything in between. We'll talk to the best and the brightest in the entertainment industry and create a space where you can hang out, learn from the pros, and have fun. Hi, I'm Sandy Adamitis.
Hi, I'm Terry Sampson.
Terry, it has been so long since we have been in the same room doing a podcast together.
Yeah, you started hiding out somewhere, I believe in the woods, and then I went to the beaches. I combed the beaches for months. Just scheduling, isn't it, right? It was busy.
It was scheduling, and we've been doing a lot of interviewing, one-on-one interviews with screenwriters.
Which has been terrific.
Yes, our listeners have really been enjoying listening to all the origin stories and how the screenwriters out there that have won Page Awards, what they've been up to.
Yeah, it's inspiring as I listen to it. It's incisive, so you can see the things ahead when they get their big writing break.
Yes, you're right. Cool. Okay. Terry, I want to talk to you about the Super Mario Brothers movie today.
Sounds super.
Yes, super. Now, the Super Mario Brothers movie was released on April 5th, just a couple of days ago, and it was directed by Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelnick from a screenplay by Matthew Fogel. Matthew has written the Minions movies and Legos movies.
Oh, okay.
Very successful. You can see why he was given the writing assignment. It's an animated movie, and the ensemble cast includes Chris Pratt, Anya Taylor-Joy, Charlie Day, Jack Black, Keegan-Michael Key, who I love.
Yeah, he's great.
Yes, Seth Rogen and Fred Armisen. As of Friday, April 7th, the film grossed a worldwide total of $148 million, making the movie cost $113 million. So it's safe to say those involved are very happy.
Yeah, I actually can't believe that.
That's a lot of money
in a lot of short amount of time. That would be a wrong way to say that. A short amount of time, a ton of money.
Also, being a kids movie, kids get a lower price, right? Does that still hold? I haven't taken a child to the movies in so long, but it's usually half the price or something, or less.
It's supposed to be less. I wonder if they even do that anymore.
Yeah, because that's children's tickets.
Right.
That's a lot of tickets, children's tickets, to get to $148
And the
million.
plus on going to a children's, especially like during the day, children's hour with a lot of children, you don't have to worry about keeping up with the dialogue. You can't hear it anyway.
Really?
It's a really good part of it.
I took my nieces and nephew to the movies a long time ago.
But they behave themselves?
They behave themselves, and it was once. So is it really true that you can't hear yourself with kids' movies and stuff? You've taken your daughter.
Oh, sure. That's exactly what, because they are depending on the age and everything, they're in the process of socialization.
Okay.
So when they walk in, they go, "I don't like it in here." They'll say that. And then somebody will hear across the theater will say, "I don't like it either." There's a lot of that interaction going on, and you want to stand up and go, "It's fine here. Everyone calm down. There's going to be a lot of animated characters in a second. You won't want to miss it."
Now, I hear some kids get scared and they'll crawl in their parents' lap the first time they see a movie. Did your daughter do that? Or do you know what her first movie was?
I don't remember what it was, but I remember where it was. We did what a lot of new parents do, and when they could, we used to go to drive-in movies in the car.
Excellent.
So everyone went to sleep.
Yes.
Then.
Yes.
We were tired. She was tired. Everyone just went to sleep.
He just took a nap in a big parking lot.
It's no wonder I can't remember the movie.
Okay.
But it was fun.
Now, are you wondering why I'm talking about the Super Mario Brothers movie?
Well, besides the huge money grab, yeah.
Did you know there was another Super Mario Brothers movie?
No.
I didn't either. I had no idea. It was a live action movie released in 1993 and the first feature-length live action film based on a video game. It follows brothers Mario, Bob Hoskins, and Luigi Mario, John Leguizamo, in their quest to rescue Princess Daisy, played by Samantha Mathis, who we haven't seen Samantha in a movie in a really long time. She's a wonderful actress. From a dystopic parallel universe ruled by the ruthless King Koopa, played by, you want to take a guess?
No.
Dennis Hopper.
Oh, really?
It was directed by the husband and wife team, Rocky Morton and Annabel Jankel. There are 3 writers credited, Parker Bennett, Terry Runté, and Ed Solomon. But we are going to return to that later. Released on May 28th, 1993, this Super Mario Brothers grossed $38.9 million worldwide against a $42 to $48 million budget. Whew. And it had a disastrous behind-the-scene history.
Oh.
Yes. So I guess that movie never made its money back. It was a big failure. And I began to wonder why. I mean, why?
Can't be the people. We got great people in it.
Right. Why one Mario succeeded and the other Mario didn't. And I started to dig, thinking I'd find stories about incompetence, but the people behind the scenes were talented, passionate, and respected in their fields. Again, so what happened? I have some theories, but I want to tell you and our listeners about the making of the first Mario Brothers movie and see what you think.
Okay.
It all starts with Roland Joffe. Personally, I never thought I'd see Super Mario Brothers and the name Roland Joffe in the same sentence, but there it is. Roland Joffe is a British director-producer known for the Academy Award-winning films The Killing Fields and The Mission. Now, there's been an image of the movie The Mission. I don't really remember the whole movie, but at the start of the film, a priest is tied to a wooden cross and sent to his death over the Iguazu Falls in Argentina. Does that strike anything in your memory? You just heard the thunderous falls and this priest just tied to a cross and just tossed over the falls, and you saw him tumbling and tumbling and tumbling.
I think so. If you tell me the main character, I think I have one in mind.
Oh goodness. Robert De Niro's in it.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm forgetting the other Good and Evil. I forget who the other actor is.
Yeah, I think I remember this. Yeah.
Now, they actually tied a stuntman to a cross and sent him over the falls. And I thought we should give a shout out to that stuntman, Anthony Bronco McLaughlin.
Wow.
You are a brave...
And he was okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
He survived to get burnt up in Wicker Man, I believe.
Wow.
Okay, back to Roland and why he gets involved with the Mario Brothers. Roland Joffe wanted to shift away from socially conscious films like The Killing Fields and The Mission and into producing family-friendly blockbusters. Why not? So when Nintendo decided to make a movie about the Mario Brothers, they took pitches and landed on Joffe and his producing partner, Jack Eberts. Why 2 independent filmmakers instead of a big major Hollywood studio? What do you think, Ter?
That doesn't sound smart at all.
Okay.
Nobody's thinking.
There was Joffe's 2 Best Director nominations.
Sure.
So that's in the column of yes, go with Joffe. And Joffe promised Nintendo more control over the film.
Well, there you go.
Okay. Now that's what I thought, slam dunk. Mm-hmm. But Nintendo didn't want power over the film. Nintendo liked the idea of a more adult take on Mario. Mario believed the Mario brand was strong enough to allow an experiment with the outside industry. Jaffe said, I think they looked at the movie as some sort of strange creature that was kind of rather intriguing to see if we could walk or not. How do we catch this wonderful mixture of images and inputs and strangeness? Also, Nintendo liked the idea of broadening the audience. Deals were made. Nintendo and Jaffe set off to make the Mario Brothers. Now, Oscar-winning screenwriter Barry Morrow, who wrote Rain Man, was sent off to write a script. Even though Jaffe was a big-time director, he wanted to focus on the producing. That makes no sense to me. I hire Roland Jaffe with my baby, and he doesn't even direct it because he wants to produce it. But I guess he then goes, well, look, we'll get Rob Morrow, who just won an Oscar for Rain Man. So maybe you go, okay.
Well, in my past, in the show business things, you'll go back to the things that he directed. And you'll go, that's my at-bat, my swing. My swing works at that. If you're going to put me in something like this, I'm going to produce it.
Yeah. Jaffe wanted to hire Greg Beeman, who had one film to his name, License to Drive, starring Corey Feldman and Corey Haim, to direct Mario. Shout out to my friend Andy Licht, producer of License to Drive. The distributor of the film, Buena Vista, said no to Beeman, and so Beeman was out. Jaffe wanted the husband and wife team of Rocky Morton and Annabel Jankel, known for Max Headroom. Terry, I couldn't explain what or who Max Headroom was, so I just Googled it, and I thought this Freeze article written by Matthew Noel Todd said it best. Here, I'm going to hand it to you. Would you read it, please?
Sure. Max Headroom, created in 1984 by Annabel Jankel, Rocky Morton, and George Stone. Max Headroom was a pre-internet, post-human TV presenter, portrayed not by computers, technology wasn't up to it at that point, but by actor Matt Fewer inside a complex latex mask. Oh. The character, a journalist turned into a computer-generated head, following a traumatic accident, was launched in the TV film Max Headroom 20 Minutes into the Future in 1984. Oh, I remember that year. Good year. The style borrows from Ridley Scott's Blade Runner in 1982, but the premise, uncannily, resembles RoboCop from 1987 as a half-dead human is brought back to life by technology with disastrous results. In the late 1980s, the character was spun off into 2 TV series, including The Max Headroom Show, a music video showcase. At the creation of the Headroom character in 20 Minutes into the Future, his programmer calmly says, "This is the future. People translate it as data."
The executives at Nintendo, they weren't sure about this directing couple, but ultimately agreed. Again, they didn't want power. They just want that movie. And the couple were hired to direct the Super Mario Brothers movie. But when it came to the movie's tone, no one could agree. Eventually, 9, count them, 9 writers came and went. So 3 got credits, but 9 came and went.
Wouldn't it be nice if the 9 of them got together for a picnic every year?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be neat?
That would be lovely.
I think so.
Oscar-winning screenwriter Barry Morrow's script wasn't received well. Barry's story followed Mario and Luigi on an existential road trip so similar to Morrow's prior Rain Man that production titled the script Drain Man. Morrow described his screenplay as a study in contrasts like Laurel and Hardy or Abbott and Costello. That would have an odyssey and a quest like the game itself. Co-producer Fred Caruso later said that Morrow's story was more of a serious drama piece as opposed to a fun comedy. Morrow left the project. Next up, screenwriting partners Jim Genowin and Tom S. Parker. Even though Jim and Tom had no writing credits, they had just sold their spec script, Stay Tuned, for $750,000.
Good for them.
Gosh, yes. Jim and Tom's script was to subvert fairy tale cliches and satirize them, as well as focus on the relationship between Mario and Luigi. Jim said, "So right away, we knew that the best way to do this was to essentially have a journey into the world, not unlike The Wizard of Oz. Essentially, what we did was what Shrek did, and we knew the story had to be about the brothers, and that the emotional through line would be about the brothers." Everyone liked Jim and Tom's script, but Greg Beeman was attached, and since Buena Vista jettisoned Greg, the script was shelved. Next, Parker Bennett and Terry Runté, known for Mystery Date, was hired. Terry, would you please read the plot for Mystery Date?
Mystery Date. Teenage Tom McHugh, who is played by Ethan Hawke, is madly in love with his ravishing next-door neighbor, Gina Matthews, played by Terry Polo, but becomes hopelessly tongue-tied, like myself here reading this, whenever she's around. When his parents go away on an impromptu road trip, his suave law student brother shows up and begins coaching Tom on how to pick up women. Things are going great until Tom discovers a body in the trunk of his brother's car, and his perfect date with Gina takes multiple turns for the worse. Bodies in cars. I'm going to go off. If I'm a guy, I'm thinking, I don't think chicks are going to dig this.
No, I don't think Terry did, because she then went on to marry Ben Stiller and had Robert De Niro as father-in-law. So
perfect.
When they said Mystery Date, I immediately thought it was The Game. So I was pleased to see that it at least had a plot besides a woman opening a door.
Oh, the funny thing, they probably thought that as well. Maybe.
Mystery Date.
Yeah. I mean, like because it's coming from a game,
right?
And they think, well, this must be.
There were no dead bodies in Mystery Date, Terry. There wasn't a dead body. There wasn't a brother who went to law school. What are you talking about? What am I missing?
Now I'm focused in on what you're talking about. So I'm with you now. I'm going to take the canoe and paddle back with you. Okay, here we go. Because Mystery Date would have been where you open the door.
Yes.
And you'd get a
Mystery Date.
Yeah, you'd get this beautiful man or a dud. And I remember that when my sister owned this game, a couple of the girls liked the dud.
My older sisters had the game, and I liked the dud. I'm here to say, could not stand the date. I think a white tuxedo with a box carnation. Yeah, I like the dud. Okay. Now, the directors decided to get involved, and they asked Parker and Terry to add a science fiction flair to the film. Parker and Terry did. Again, everyone was happy with the script. Whew, deep breath, right? Nintendo, Jaffe, and the directors. Then the directors, remember Rocky and Annabel, the married couple, decided they wanted the movie to be more like Ghostbusters and asked Parker and Terry for another rewrite. This did not sit well with Nintendo or Jaffe, but the directors insisted, so Parker and Terry rewrote the script and introduced Dino Hatton, a world where dinosaurs evolved into modern times. The directors fired Parker and Terry for being too comedic. Parker, Terry, really? We're pouring one out for you guys. Dick Clement and Ian LaFerranis were hired. Their first draft was action-packed, and no one liked it. Their second draft got the attention of Bob Hoskins to sign on as Mario and John Leguizamo as Luigi, and Dennis Hopper, as we mentioned before, as King Koopa. the Super Mario Brothers movie went into production.
Woohoo!
Woo! After production started, Jaffe got cold feet about how dark the script had become. He blamed the directors, and to keep things on schedule, he hired 2 script doctors, Ed Solomon, who wrote Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and Ryan Rowe, who wrote Tapeheads, to make the script more fun. And they kept it secret from the directors.
Yeah, they don't need to know.
They don't need to know. They don't need to prepare. They don't need to know.
Some people are problematic.
Yes. Next, the actors arrived on set and complained the script wasn't what they signed up for. And you gotta admit, it really wasn't. Jaffe returned to Dick Clement and Ian LaFreniere, remember the action-packed guys?
Yeah.
To undoctor the script they wrote.
Yeah.
But they were busy. So Jaffe rehired Parker Bennett and Terry Runté, who originally introduced the sci-fi element, to rewrite the script as production continued.
Wow.
The Super Mario Brothers movie was released on May 28th, 1993. Film critics and the audience hated it. Kids said the film looked nothing like the games. Nintendo never publicly talked about the film, and they were confident they would never make a movie or a TV show based on any of their franchises again.
I'm glad they stick to that.
And then cut to April 2023 and all that money. Terry, do you want to read what some of the critics said?
Yeah, of the critical response.
Yeah.
Okay. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 28% based on 43 reviews. With an average rating of 4.1 out of 10, the site's contention states, despite flashy sets and special effects, Super Mario Brothers is too light on story and substance to be anything more than a novelty. Okay. Michael Williamson of the LA Times said, it's a movie split in two, widely accomplished on one level, wildly deficient on another. This could be said about so many things. I appreciate that way he's put that. He gave the high marks for its effects and the sheer density and bravado of the production design, but ultimately provided a low final score for poor writing.
Aw.
Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune and Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times gave the film 2 thumbs down on the television program Siskel and Ebert at the Movies. I believe I remember that.
Yes.
Citing tonal inconsistency and lack of narrative, and the film was on their list for one of the worst films of 1993.
Yikes. Yeah. Those guys were very influential.
Yeah.
People listened to them.
Yeah, they could make or break a movie.
I guess if you go to the movies and you know nothing about them, you look at that movie and you just think that was a money grab.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. The people behind the scenes really did care. They were prominent in their fields, and they were very talented. What happened? I mean, we have to start with there wasn't a script.
That's
first.
Right.
There was the producers and the directors, and then they decided to write a script.
I think the interesting thing is there is something here in my notes that you provided that is a good thing to compare it to. There was nothing on TV like Max Headroom when it showed up.
Right.
Nobody heard the name Max Headroom beforehand. Someone came up with an original idea. They put their paws in it. They saw it. They understood it, and they executed it, and it was huge.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably why they got the directing gig. It's almost like if you just take something that everyone's heard of, and you think, if we make a movie about it, everybody that likes it will come. Like, in Los Angeles, what if they made a movie about the LA Dodgers? Everybody here loves the Dodgers, and so you say, we're going to make it animated. It's going to be based on a fictitious problem. They're going to fight crime or something ridiculous instead of playing baseball.
I would go watch that. I'd go watch that.
So, but I wouldn't.
See, if they're not playing baseball, I'm interested.
I love both baseball and
crime
movies.
fighting.
Yeah, because they're not playing that. And it has to have at some point, everybody has to fall in love with the concept. Right. I don't think anybody fell in love with the concept. They kept dragging it back and forth from different ideas.
Yes. I guess the money's there and you're putting all the pieces together. Everybody felt like they could handle everything. And it all gets back to the story. Now, this was live action with actors, and the recent Mario Brothers is animation. You think that also?
Well, that helps a great deal, the animation part of it, because that sort of links it back to the game itself, right?
Yes.
That really helps.
I think that this movie being animated really helps. Look, you hired Bob Hoskins. I guess everybody was excited about that. But if I'm a 6-year-old girl, Bob Hoskins is a gruff, mean person. Right. I don't know how he portrayed it in the movie. I
think it has something to do with Who Killed Roger Rabbit.
You're right.
Because he was in that, and that sort of makes him a guy that was animated too. Remember, these things get tossed around amongst agents and everything. So we have Bob.
He's huge.
Bob was in a big, successful, half-animated movie.
Right.
So they probably said, well,
he'll get the humor, he'll get the tone, and
it doesn't make any sense. These things, I can't believe they can make any good movies if they got people in offices thinking like that. It's amazing.
So we think that they should have had the script first.
Yes.
And that, maybe it should have been animation.
Yeah, that would have been great.
I think it was really smart to hire John Leguizamo. He was up and coming. He's adorable. He's so funny. Mm-hmm. I think too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah. I think what happens is they think they're shaping something with the idea that the first thing they're saying is, we've got an idea for a blockbuster. And they say that word. Mm-hmm. Now everybody's afraid that they're stopping the blockbuster. And these ideas are floating around. And when you get 3 people in a room that say, yes, we like that idea, all of a sudden, that's the idea of it. And
that you're going with.
Yeah. And then somebody, wakes up one morning and goes, this isn't going to work.
Right.
And then they go, this will be horrible. And so then this went on, it feels like, for months and months and months before they got this going. No?
No, I agree, but I also wanted to double back on something you were saying about a franchise. Look, franchise are made all the time because they make big money. Mm-hmm. Name recognition is huge in media. Mm-hmm. I mean, I worked on a TV show called Terminator, The Sarah Connor Chronicles. It was supposed to just be called The Sarah Connor Chronicles, but Fox very wisely said, you're shooting a franchise TV series. How can you not use the name?
Yeah.
And all the artistic people were just like, no, this is Sarah's story and John and Sarah, and we're just going to call it the Sarah Connor Chronicles. We got a couple of C's in there. That's cool. But no, Fox said, absolutely not. You're putting the Terminator in there. And they're right. They're at the end of the day, they're right. So the creator, Josh and John, stopped fighting it. You took a franchise and just changed it.
It's almost like
making Mystery Date and putting a dead body in the car.
Yes, it's a horrible idea. Imagine the disappointed 8-year-old girls who are going, someone got killed in my game. It's horrible. Mom!
Yes. Yeah. So, again, I guess you could watch the movie and just roll your eyes and say everybody involved was just taking a paycheck, but it's not true.
Do you know offhand if the directing duo of Jankel and Morton, did they continue?
I read a quick blurb that basically their career was over after this, which is, that's sad.
Yeah.
It wasn't all their fault. Right. It was everybody's fault.
Right.
And there you go.
Yeah, it's funny. Every once in a while, you'll get a story like this. I like to think of Jerry Seinfeld after his show was over. Think about how many movies that guy could have made. Mm-hmm. Really, if I have a take on him that's accurate, and I'm not suggesting I do, I really feel like his deal is, if for him, whatever idea shows up, it has to be funny, or he's not going to do it.
Right.
No matter how much money there is on it, or if it's a beloved.
Well, there's the pressure of topping yourself.
Sure.
So I'm sure he had that.
Sure.
He has more money than God, so he doesn't
But
have
right
to
after
do
he
anything.
was out, see, I think he still had more money than God then. I mean, he had hundreds of millions of dollars probably by then.
Here's my theory. And Jerry, if you're listening, I apologize. Jerry Seinfeld's not a very good actor.
No.
I think he struggled through Seinfeld. I think he got a little bit more easier. And I happen to know some of the people who were involved in the beginning, and they would literally write to the fact that Jerry can't act.
Sure.
So maybe he's never really comfortable acting, and so he didn't do it. And now he can come out and, do Ians and Cars. And because I agree, he must have been offered things, but he didn't do anything, right?
Yeah, I think it's amazing when people accept their strengths and their shortcomings and respect those. I think that he was I think the writing on the show was great, fantastic, if I might say. And
yes,
I think
the writing was amazing.
Yeah, and he was really funny doing it, but that guy was a leader. I'm not even sure if he was a leader. He was a guy that arranged an ensemble to do the show. And he was just one guy in the ensemble, even though the show's named after him.
Seinfeld was applauded back in its day for having an ensemble cast that was equal. And now legend has it, now Elaine, everybody who went on to have the biggest career.
Hilarious.
Elaine actually was not originally written as equal to the boys. I've been told, and I don't really know if this is true or not, that when Fred Barron was brought in to run the show, he kind of said, hey, why isn't Elaine in this scene? Why isn't Elaine doing this? Why isn't Elaine talking? So I'm not battling you, but I thought our audience would be interested in that little bit of lore.
Yeah, I've looked into this because I find this stuff fascinating, especially with that show. And first of all, she wasn't even an original. She's not in the first episode.
She isn't?
No, because they were going to give the girl spot to the waitress at the diner they went to.
Monks.
And nothing sparked when that happened. They just shot it, and she did lines and everything, but it just didn't draw any attention.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And so that was put out there. Then the first thing they said, you have to have a female in there. And the biggest transition was for the writers, as I've heard, is that they said, write Elaine as a man. Just write her funny lines. She'll be fine.
That's so sad that we had to use that language not that many years ago.
Yeah.
Hello, male writers. We're going to have a female in the cast.
So they just stopped thinking. They changed the way of thinking.
Yeah.
They said she'll be in there fighting just like everybody else.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. We love Elaine Bennis.
Yes.
Now, Monks, another little trivia. The cafe wasn't named for a while, for a couple episodes. And then amongst the production crew, they had a contest who can name the cafe. And it was Monks.
Wow.
I hope I have the name right. The story's correct. Right. I don't know if I have the name right.
What came in second?
I don't know. One other thing that I wanted to bring up, you had mentioned to me earlier about Madeline. When she went to the movies, she liked to go to the Disney.
Yes.
Right. I believe this Mario Brothers, the newest one, Princess Peach plays a bigger role. That, I think, maybe they didn't think about back in 1993 to gravitate to the little girls. That's another reason why maybe this one is doing better. So to wrap it up, one Mario brother exists so the second Mario brother could run. right?
That's right.
Make all the money.
Hey, writers, I realize I forgot to let you know my sources for this episode after I left the studio. They are Wikipedia, yardbarker.com, Deadline, an article by David Sims from The Atlantic, an article written by Anthony Chichimo from Collider.com, plus an article from Freeze.com by Matthew Noel Todd. Thanks again for listening. That's a wrap for the Writers Hangout. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe, like, and thrive. Till we get to hang out again, keep writing. The world needs your stories. The Writers Hangout is sponsored by the Page International Screenwriting Awards. Executive producer, Kristen O'Verne. Producers, Terry Sampson and Sandy Adamitis. Music by Ethan Stoller.